Welcome to this Table Talk Tuesday edition of Liquid Lunch on NEWSMAX TV. I'm John TABACCO. We're coming to you live today, as we do every single day from noon to 2 Eastern, from the Question Tequila Studios in downtown Manhattan. NEWSMAX has us in our own little outpost. We're on Broadway, and we're still here, right down the street, to start off this terrific Tuesday at the New York Stock Exchange. Dow is up about 35 points. Well above that 27,000 level that I've been talking about is the next support. Still waiting for some good news out of the China trade talks, and I'll keep saying it, I see 30 by year end. Bitcoin down marginally this morning, but still right around 9,400. Things are good in Bitcoin land in the 9,000s. I like to see it pop above 10, and then all heck could break loose. But we'll keep you posted on that and all the other great things going on around the world. But all heck is going to break loose right now when I bring in Frank Morano, managing editor, and my co-host.
Happy Tuesday to all of you. Tuesday happens to be my least favorite day of the week. You know, Monday you're kind of well rested from the weekend generally. Wednesday, you know, it's hump day. Thursday, you're looking forward to the weekend. Friday, it's easy. Saturday, Sunday, speak for themselves. Tuesday, it's kind of a downer.
I like Tuesday because it's like, I live in this universe where when I wake up today, I just think that I'm going to blink my eyes and it's going to be tomorrow. So to me, it's like, it's practically Wednesday.
Well,
you know, and that's hump day.
You know, we used to like Tuesdays because we used to serve tacos on Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesdays.
Taco distributor relocated to Canada, where I believe she's running for parliament, or did run for parliament. And then it used to be nice when we'd have Table Talk Tuesday, but we have discontinued the issue with the food. Yeah.
You see that?
No, I get it.
That,
oh,
right?
I know. I saw it.
There's a 70% chance that the tweets that you sent to
these aren't even tweets. These aren't okay. See, by the way, I just want to point out how well our whiteboard is working. Kyle, let me see that. Let me see that. Let me see that. This is all me. I take very little credit for anything that goes on this show. This is 100% my innovation. So you know what would happen if I didn't have this whiteboard right now, and they weren't able to signal us that we couldn't play any clips?
We'd be calling for clips.
No. What you'd see is 4 people giving conflicting hand signals with no key about what the hand signals actually mean.
Well, first they'd be scrambling around for 20 seconds,
right?
Not telling us.
One of them would go like that. I don't know what that means. One of them would go like that, and very well. It's fine. It's just as well.
I think we're going to be okay.
We are
get the whiteboard back.
We're going to be just fine.
Its rightful owner.
On our car ride here, which you're going to be able to. What percentage do you think that will actually have the tweets that you sent to our team to be able to go to and the footage? And I said 70% chance. I said as long as you can get them the clips an hour before showtime or more, usually they play.
Well, it's going to be
70%
not only a Table Talk Tuesday, today will be a clip-free Tuesday as well.
Maybe. Exactly.
There's still hope.
All right.
And hope indeed there is for our country, because Trump is barnstorming the whole country doing rallies, and he is just killing it.
Right. Well, so today is an important day. Today is Election Day, and there are a number of important races around the country. In Kentucky, they're voting for governor. In Virginia, they have control of their state legislature up for grabs. There's a number of important races around the country. In New Jersey, they're electing every member of their state assembly and a number of key municipal offices. Here in New York City, we're electing the number 2 person in city government, the public advocate, and we're deciding, like we spoke about yesterday, whether or not to engage with ranked choice voting. But today's an important day for another reason, and that's precisely what I'm going to be speaking frankly about. And then usually there's a cool little graphic which will mark there. Yeah, exactly. You see all the 20 hairstyles of Frank Morano.
There's usually like a cool little opening.
Yeah, exactly.
But for those of you just tuning in, the Frankly Speaking is brought to you by Frank.
That's right. Coming up in just a few minutes, by the way, Dr. Lauren Wright will be here. We'll talk with her about her book, Star Power, American Democracy in an Age of the Celebrity Candidate, and we'll get her take on this impeachment battle. Quite a bit of news coming out of impeachment world yesterday.
I want to know from Dr. Wright what we can do to combat the liberalism on the campuses of America.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I'll let her speak for.
I just want to ask her. I don't like what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm all for kids having every
All right.
choice.
Well, let me tell you why today is also an important day. Today begins the trial in Washington, D.C. of my friend Roger Stone. Now, we've spoken to Roger on the show. He's been a guest on the show. Roger's been a friend of mine for about 20 years, and I am unabashedly a Stone friend and
Stone cold friend.
Exactly, and doesn't mean we always agree. And his way of doing things in politics isn't necessarily my way of doing politics, but we've been through the trenches together. Actually mentioned in his most recent book, Stone's Rules. Not very complimentarily, I might add, but if you want to know about pizza, read Stone's Rules, and you can see why I mentioned. However,
are we allowed to talk about him? I know he's not allowed to talk about himself or anything.
We'll give it a shot. But here's the thing. Now, we're going to be talking to you a great deal about this Roger Stone trial as it unfolds. I'm guessing maybe it'll go 3 or 4 weeks, but quite frankly, I have no idea. We're going to go through the facts of the case as they unfold. But you know who's not going to see anything that happens in the Roger Stone trial? You and me, unless we make a trip down to Washington, D.C. In spite of the fact that we are paying the salaries of the prosecutors, in spite of the fact that we are paying the salary of the judge and all the court security officers in that courtroom, the American people are denied the right to watch what's going on here. Now, what's even more outrageous is they actually have a camera in the courtroom that is feeding a separate media room adjacent to this courtroom. There is absolutely no reason why cameras should not be permitted in federal court, and while there's no reason why trials shouldn't be able to be broadcast on television. The whole country, I would venture to say, many people in the whole world are interested in what's happening in this Roger Stone case. Instead, we're going to have to rely on transcripts when the court deigns to release them. We're going to have to rely on media reports for people that are able to go there in D.C. and get a seat. Put these hearings on television. Put every federal trial on TV. I don't care whether you're conservative or liberal, whether it's the lowest federal court in the country or whether it's the U.S. Supreme Court, there ought to be cameras in the courtroom, and we ought to be able to watch them on TV. They say sunlight is the best disinfectant. Well, I have a feeling if the American people saw what was going on in some federal courtrooms around the world, and around the country specifically, they would be crying bloody murder. People have no idea what goes on in these trials, when there even are trials, because most of these cases end in plea agreements. And if they saw what was going on in these courtrooms, there would be tremendous calls for reform. I say, whether you're conservative, liberal, or non-political, quite frankly, demand that Congress force the courts to allow cameras in the courtroom. John.
Did I have a drink yet?
Can you, or did you?
Can I?
You're asking my permission to have a drink?
I'm so aggravated with this whole Roger Stone thing. I mean, every single person, the collusion conclusion has passed. The Mueller probe is gone. Dr. Jerome Corsi was supposed to be the middleman to WikiLeaks. No charges. George Papadopoulos served like 1 day in jail. He's done. Roger Stone is the only person implicated in the whole Mueller probe, collusion, conclusion, delusion. Roger Stone's the only one, and he's on trial. He's been robbed of his whole lifelong wealth. He had to sell his house. He sold his car, okay, to defend himself in a case where it's basically a process crime. They say he lied, and he actually amended his statement. They let him amend it, and then they went back and charged him for it. Now he's going on trial for it. It makes you want to have a drink, Frank. For me, it does, because I'm just as big a Stone guy as you are.
Yeah.
You're the biggest, but I'm right there.
Well, if the federal government's watching, then John is the biggest, not me. I don't want any
I don't
trouble
even know the
from
guy.
any
What are you talking about over there? I don't know
Exactly.
anything. I'm drinking.
Exactly. But we wish Roger the best of luck, and
We're going to cover it for you fair and square.
And I'll tell you what my hope is. Look, if Roger committed a crime, he should be convicted. But here's my fear, is that the jury in this Roger Stone trial is going to convict him of being a Trump supporter, not of any crimes that he committed.
Yep.
So this jury in Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C. went 96% for candidates other than Donald Trump. And yet that is the jury pool that is going to decide Roger's guilt or innocence. Now, John mentioned Dr. Jerome Corsi. I know he's going to be testifying against Roger, as will Rick Gates. We'll see if the jury thinks they're more odious than Roger is. However, there in 120 or so people that are in this jury pool, there's not one registered Republican, there's not one viewer of Fox News, not one viewer of Newsmax, and not one military veteran. I think it's going to be very tough to get a fair trial with Roger, with Roger's fate being decided with a jury pool like this. My hope, though, is that the jury pool decides the case based on the evidence, not because Roger Stone was friends with Donald Trump.
I feel terrible for him. You know, we've tried our best. We held a fundraiser for him. We featured his whole story on What's the Deal, our Sunday show right here on Newsmax TV last year. And we'll keep you posted. We'll keep you abreast of everything that is going on with the Roger Stone trial. Hopefully he gets a fair trial. If not, hopefully he can appeal it on that matter, that it was not the right jury pool. Or it was. How's it a jury of his peers if they're all Democrats?
Well, I think that is going to be a very appealable issue.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you don't get to pick a jury, you know, that matches your political persuasion.
No, but if the pool is 100% devoid of people that are share some of your, it's not really your peers, it's your enemies.
Now, the big story, of course, we're going to be talking about throughout the show is the fact that we broke this on the news yesterday, is that New York City has a new police commissioner. Beginning next month, it's going to be Police Commissioner Dermot Shea taking over for James O'Neill. A lot of folks wondering how a previous New York City Police Commissioner, Bernie Kerik, feels about that. Well, you don't have to wonder, because just keep watching, and at 2 p.m., Commissioner Kerik will be right here on Newsmax TV, exclusively joining John Cardillo to give you his take on Commissioner O'Neill's decision to step aside and see what he says about Commissioner Shea. As you can see, President Trump tweeted about this morning. So sad what is happening in New York, where Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio are letting out 900 criminals, some hardened and bad, onto the sidewalks of a rapidly declining because of them city. The radical left Dems are killing our cities. NYPD commissioner is resigning.
I'd resign if I were him too, because de Blasio's keeps making them under-report crime. They say we're the safest big city in the world, but they're under-reporting crimes. He's decriminalizing things left and right. So, you know, it's not like it's getting better in there. You can't walk in New York 10 feet without tripping over a homeless person, which is something that our governor and mayor should be focusing on instead of letting convicted criminals out of jail. But that's for another day, I would assume. Today, it's a terrific Table Talk Tuesday. Coming up right after this, it's Dr. Lauren Wright. You're watching Liquid Lunch. Back at you right after this.